Hey guys, continuing chapter 5 of Exhortation to Philosophy text by Iamblichus. The next Pythagorean division. He says we can see the human in three ways. There is the soul, and there is the body, and then there's possessions of the body. And all those things are done for the sake of each other. They exist for the sake of each other. So possessions of the body exist for the good of the body. The body exists for the good of the soul. And ideally, this is how we are to use them. So in essence, all of these, the possessions of the body and the body, we need to use for the sake of the soul. We need to align in such a way that helps us build the health of the soul. And we know that the health of the soul essentially is virtue. So we need to use those things in a virtuous way. And he says, because there are these three divisions, there are essentially three sciences that apply to those three divisions. And then he gives examples. But here, I don't understand what he's talking about. I cannot understand it. So if somebody can explain to me in the commentaries, that'd be great. And I'll also ask, if I'll remember, I'll ask some people who are really experienced with these things, if I will not forget. The three sciences, he says, are essentially the man who knows only the possessions of the body. He knows what is his, but he doesn't know himself. And similarly, the man who knows the body also knows the body, but he doesn't even know the possessions of the body. And he still doesn't know himself, doesn't know the soul. This is why I don't quite understand what he means by this. And he gives some examples of husbandmen, labor workers, and so forth. But still, I can't understand what he's meaning there. What I do understand is that he says the only way we can learn ourselves to know who we truly are, to learn the soul, is through temperance, through self-control. This is the only way. Not through possessions of the body, not through the body, but through self-control. So this is what I understood. Now the way I interpret this teaching from him, and now this is just my spin on it, is something like this. The possessions of the body are things that serve the body. So in my room right now, I have my computer, I have my bed, which is kind of like semi-comfortable. I have pillows, blankets, clothes, and so forth. All those things aim to serve this body, make it comfortable, make me comfortable, help me sleep at night, keep the body healthy more or less. That's what those things do. And they serve the body, they do not tell me about who I truly am, about my soul. Now the body, as I understand it, and I think this is an incorrect understanding of what he means, but still I believe it is useful, it's the science of the health of the body, what is healthy for this body, and how to use this body physically. So maybe this is why he gives labor workers, because they're constantly using the physical body. So let's say, for example, I bought a bicycle recently, a sport bicycle, and I go around riding in it, as I do now every day. And I'm starting to learn more and more of my body, how much it can handle, or when it gets tired, and the different things that are happening with it, and so forth. I'm learning more and more of this body, but I'm still not learning about my true essence. This is just the science of the body that I'm kind of like learning. If I went to medical school, then I'll learn in much more depth about the body and what it's made up of and so forth. But still I would not be learning about who I truly am. The only way I start to learn who I truly am, I guess, is by exercising self-control. And yeah. And also via philosophy, I guess, theoretical philosophy and practical philosophy. So for example, on my work desk I have a big altar with flowers, plants, and statues of deities, and an eternal fire. And the purpose of that is not so much, not really a possession of the body, and it's not really about the body. It's a little bit more about the soul, as I understand it. It's kind of like practical philosophy. I can look at that altar, I can meditate in front of it, I can worship in front of it, And that kind of frees up my mind from the possessions and the body. I don't care so much about possessions anymore. I'm not really into the body so much anymore. I start to experience more and more freedom and peace. The states that are typical to the soul. That's how I understand it. That's my kind of spin on this part of the chapter. So what is the purpose of this chapter? As I understand it, it's we have to align everything for the benefit of the soul. We have to make sure our possessions help us develop self-control and virtue. We have to make sure we use the physical body in such a way that helps us develop self-control and virtue. Then we start to learn more and more about who we truly are. If we do the opposite, if in our possessions we scatter our minds, we scatter our energy, then we're moving away from this direction. We become more and more ingrained in physical reality, and our mind is, instead of elevating higher up, it is more and more fixated on material things. And we will not really know ourselves then. It's quite a beautiful and a strange way, the way it works. So that's it. In the next video, we'll probably talk about the next division in that chapter. Thank you for watching me. All the best. Bye-bye.